Okay, Rob and Barry here from East Fork Christmas Tree Farms, and we're just going to give you a little bit of what it's like to grow a 5-acre Christmas tree farm, soon to be a little bit more acreage.
Yes, yeah.
So first of all, Barry, if somebody was going to go into the Christmas tree farm business and do a small 5-6 acre U-cut, what would you tell them?
Don't do it. No, I say that kiddingly. No, if you love working the land and you're not afraid of a lot of hard work and a lot of planning, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a good endeavor for the both of us with a little bit of money to be had for it as well.
My advice would be, if you're willing to be patient, it's good. We planted these trees 16 years ago. I just looked it up, the first trees, and we probably grew trees for 5 or 6 years before we got to sell anything. So you need to realize that you are going to be in the red for a number of years. Now that we've gotten to where we're harvesting every year and replacing it, each year we're making good money for that year's work, but we're still trying to make up for the previous year's work. So don't go into Christmas tree farming as a short-term investment. You know, it's not an annual crop. Unless you're going to do a wholesale and cut everything down in 7 years, then plan on 7 years. If you're going to want to do a U-cut, you got to plan to be in this at least 12 years before it's really worthwhile.
We get people that come to the farm and they have property like we did, and they're like, you know, that's a great idea, put that property to use. I think that would be a great way to keep it an ag and also you know, not be a lot of work. Well, I said it's a lot of work, and it truly is. And when people make that statement, it's time and it's an investment. There's summertime we put in with the shearing and the pruning, the weed control, the pest control. The best part of tree farms, though, is the selling time. And we're a U-cut. We cut actually most of them, but technically that might be called a U-cut. And that is a lot of fun. I get to see the same people come back, the same families come back sometimes now that we've been doing it, selling for 10 years approximately. We see some families that when we first saw the kids, they were little, and now they're teenagers and beyond. And we're both teachers, so we get to see students that have come and families of students that come back, and then some of those even have now new families. So that part of it's really rewarding.
Yeah, I'd like to add in on that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that I see once a year now. The day they come out to get the tree, I get to be part of their Christmas. I get to have some fun with them. It's a joyous time of the year. And then, you know, their lives have them off in other places, and my life has me back in Woodland. But there's a lot of friends that I see once a year, and we really enjoy catching up if it's not a really busy day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so busy we can't visit, but usually if they come early morning, we have a chance to visit a little bit as we haul their tree out.
Yep, yeah, that's true.
Okay, if you're going to start a Christmas tree farm, you got to gather some knowledge and just move forward and do it, but you're going to make some mistakes. It's just going to happen, and it's farming, especially when you have a crop that you're going to have to wait 7 years, that it's going to happen that something wrong is going to happen to some of the trees, and you're going to have to take care of it. One of the challenges we've faced is, sometimes planting and we get a real hot summer and we don't have water to irrigate, so we've had a few years where we had a lot of seedlings die off. One year I think we got some chemical on the seedlings and killed them off, and that's part of the reason we're low on trees this year, but there's different challenges. Aphids are the main pest of the tree itself. They really hit the grand firs bad. Obviously they affect nobles too, and you'll see some of my video on how to spray for aphids, but those are challenges. Deer as well.
Well, deer are the deer that roam the area around here, especially the buck. They love to rub on our young trees, so we lose a percentage of trees every year to deer rub, and we count on losing a percentage of trees. But what we've also experienced in our loss has been a little bit of maybe the climate change scenario that's occurring in the area. So we have not had the wetter summers recently, and that's caused a lot of our seedlings to die. So we are up against it from one angle and another angle to make sure that we can produce a healthy tree for people to take home and enjoy later on, Christmas time.
Okay, as you're looking forward and planning ahead, since we're 6-7 years out when we plant trees, you're trying to project the market and you don't really know. one of the things that is going on right now is a lot of people are getting fake Christmas trees, and I know a lot of people are really concerned about that. But it's been my experience, a lot of people that are getting a fake Christmas tree like to put it up early, and then they come out here and get a real Christmas tree later on. Some of these people have multiple trees. There's a lot of people that have had a fake Christmas tree and then realize that that just doesn't cut it, and then they start coming back out and getting a real Christmas tree. So even though there are more and more fake Christmas trees being sold, I think there will always be and continue to be a market for real Christmas trees. And you know, most people just won't settle for the debauchery of a fake Christmas tree. Okay, so Barry's a good friend of mine, and we're business partners now, but it's an interesting story on how this all started as far as a business partnership. So
yeah,
share it.
It is an interesting story. I grew up on this farm you see behind me. It was 40 acres initially. My dad always wanted his sons potentially to do some farming on it. We raised cattle on the property for many, many years, but he wanted to do something more, thought we would use it to do some ag work. And but none of us ever had the gumption to do it. I'm working with Rob at the building we were teaching at together, and we strike up a conversation and find out his grandfather was a Christmas tree farmer, and that led to us discussing the potential of doing this. And ultimately, with his knowledge and the land that I had access to, it helped us to start up the farm.
Yeah, and it's been a good partnership. We actually still don't even have anything legally written down, but 16, 17 years later, we're doing good. Barry's a good worker. I think I do a good job, and so it's been a good partnership that we've planted a lot more trees. We're hoping to continue this on. Another thing that I'd like to share that's been a really positive, other than just the money, is it's been fantastic for my family personally, and I know Barry's as well, but I have 4 sons of my own, and they're good, strong boys, but they're also athletes, and throughout the years, they've always wanted to work in the summer, but have flexibility of schedule. So, you know, our shearing season is the bulk of a lot of our work, and we start mid-July, early to mid-July, and it'll go into August. And one of the fun things that has been, you know, if the boys have morning lift, we can start after lift. Or one year they started their group at 11 o'clock every morning. So we would get out here at 6 in the morning and work for a part day, then they can go. So one thing it is, you know, I've had my boys work for other people now, and usually they come back and say, your boys know how to work. And they learned how to do that partly on the farm, and it's just partly who they are. And it allowed them to go to church camp, go to sports camps, and do things, but we could be flexible in our schedule. There's so many hours of shearing that we need to do during the summer, and we need to make sure we get this done before school starts, but we can make it work, and it's been fantastic for my boys growing up.
Yeah, actually, and my boys were some of the initial crew for planting the farm. I mean, they kind of outgrew, by the time we were shearing and working on the shearing piece of the farm, they didn't get much of that, but they were here planting many of our initial 1,200 trees, and then the next generation as well. So it's been good for both of our families. And a partnership generally doesn't last long in the business world, but we've had 17 years, great years together. That's primarily because we just love being in the field and working together, and that our kids and our families have been able to join in this endeavor.
All right, thank you so much for watching. As always, we'd love it if you'd like, subscribe, share this with whoever you'd want. You might also want to try these other videos that have to do with growing Christmas trees. We've got 17 years experience, and we're hoping to share with you.